Today is something that plagues a lot of people. That's snoring. So what is the cause of snoring, and is it a problem? Is it something to be solved? And if it is, then how is it that we can solve the problem of snoring?
Yes, snoring is one of the biggest problem today in the Western world. People get divorced. The ladies divorce their husband because the husband snores. She says her sleep is getting affected or whatever. So snoring is basically sets in very early these days, after the age of 25, 30 and all that. This is because of our lifestyle. Number one, we are not in a position to understand what exactly this snoring. Snoring has got no treatment. Snoring cannot be stopped with medication. You know all that, right?
Yeah.
So snoring is one, you are trying to breathe harder, because in most of our cases, as you sleep, when the blood flow slows down, we have a mechanism. When we sleep, our heart rate comes down, our pulse rate comes down, our BP comes down, because we are not needing any energy to move. We are stationary, we are in horizontal mode. So every system has its own integrated circuits inside. From the brain, it slows down everything. Whatever is needed only will function with respect to your heart and other things. But breathing has to go on. Oxygenation is required for the body. So the air tube in many cases tend to shrink. So we are forced to breathe harder, which creates a noise. This results in snoring. And if you see people who do a lot of physical activity, labor jobs, lot of physical activity, lifting weights and packing area, people working in the factories, they do hard labor. These people are well exercised with their heart and lung. They don't fall into this category of snoring at all, most of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Say for example, if you're going to play, if you are a person who is snoring, who have developed this snoring in a young age or whatever age, you go and play shuttle 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. Within 1 week, your snoring will disappear.
Okay.
Because when you play around, when you do more exercise, when you give more bodily movement, your heart tends to beat more. Your pulmonary flow will be high. Your lung has to breathe in a lot of air to give oxygenation to the blood, which is flowing on higher side. So exercising, say if you take an active footballer, the guy who practices football, who's a star player or whatever it is, he will be exercising himself at least 8 hours a day, and he will be practicing football 4 hours to 5 hours a day. So he will never have snoring. If you can go and swim around, you go to a swimming pool for slowly do a freestyle swimming of 50 laps a day, which is quite large. So it's about 2.5 kilometers of swimming. You expand your lungs so much, you make your heart muscles so strong, and you give the respiratory system such a beautiful exercise that you can avoid snoring. I think you understand all these things.
Yeah.
Nowadays we are all we all call ourselves as techies, the so-called techies. The techies, only the finger works, nothing else. Or best they use their brain, we don't know. But their physical conditions are ignored. And you eat nonsense.
Right.
Most of the techies, I don't know how disciplined they are with their food habits. Okay, in your peer group, if you don't eat burgers, you are looked down upon. Okay,
True.
it's a disgrace for a techie to take Tayasadam to his office. Okay? Because you are a techie, you need to stick around with a high fund of food. And you are in the air conditioning atmosphere all the time in the world, 60 to 18 hours a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely you tend to snore. So this is what is snoring. A person who has a clear expansion of lung, a good heart rate, a good strong heart muscle, good physical activity, good exercise, will never snore. And snoring is seen in very young people today because you have, computerized your life. Every part of your life is completely on the screens. That's one of the major reasons for a lot of snoring these days. And snoring has no treatment whatsoever. A good exercise, good amount of involvement of sports of 2 to 3 hours a day, you can drive away your snoring.